Shruti Smriti Puranamalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Namo Bhagavate Ramanaya Ishvara. Okay, you say that. Ishvarapritam nechaya kritam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam. So this verse can be called Karma Chatusutri. I gave this name to this. This is my nomenclature. So, nechaya kratam. You perform an action without the desire for the result thereof. That is the translation, okay? Don't say without the result, without the desire for the result. Say result thereof. So that the karma phala. Okay? Not some sukha, not some dukha. The karma phala. So, then a question is asked. How can, this is how they ask. The question shows that the questioner is perfectly ignorant. That is how the question shows. Like a question is asked. When you say the ego is undesirable, you should see to it that it is gone. Then the question, can we live without ego? That is how the similar question is asked. Can we work without the desire for the result thereof? Can there be karma without the result thereof? That is the question. And after asking the question, you put a big profile because you have asked a big Shastriya prashna. It is the silliest question, not the Shastriyam prashna, Shastriya prashna. Because, you see, when a karma is there, action, in that sense you take it, karma, action. It has phalam and prayojanam. There are two things. Prayojanam anuddishya na mandopi pravartate. We know that. So when I say karma, you do karma without the desire for the result thereof, I do not mean go and take a lathi and beat the water. That is not what I mean. Because you are not seeking any result. Is that the way to do karma? That is not what I mean. The karma which is purposeful, meaningful, that you are supposed to do, you are willing to, you have to do it and you are capable of doing it and you are doing it or you are about to do it. I am talking of that karma. And in that karma, a result is projected. Result is always a projected thing. Result is not on hand. And I am, if you don't mind, I am a bit perplexed when you say that we will accept the result, whatever it is. Who are you to accept or not accept? Who are you? And also you should know, when the result comes, you will not be able to connect it to the karma. This result has come from that karma. You cannot connect it like that. Result will be in the form of sukha dukkha. And this sukha has come because of that karma. Can you make such a connection? You cannot connect. Therefore, when the phalam comes, you cannot connect it to the karma which gave that phalam. That connection you cannot do. It is done by the higher power. And so that being the case, how can you say that you will accept the result of the karma? It sounds a bit superfluous. You have to say, I accept this sukha or dukkha, which is supposedly the karma phala, of a karma which I do not know what it is. You have to say that. You are not saying a very great thing. Therefore, how to deal with the sukha dukkha in life, that is a different topic, though it is connected. This saying, but whether we get sukha or dukkha, it comes from a karma that we have performed earlier, and we do not know which is that karma, whether it is this life or earlier life. There must be some karma that has given this sukha or dukkha. Therefore, I am responsible for my own pleasure or pain. I need not bother. I need not blame anybody. You take it like that. That helps as a shock absorber in the context of adversity. And when it is prosperity, it makes you feel good. I deserve this prosperity. So you take it like that, nothing wrong. But you cannot talk as if you know from which karma this result has come. I am accepting it or I am not accepting it. Kya baat hai? It is very superfluous, so that is not acceptable. It is not said like that anywhere. Then karma has phalam and prayojana. Phala and prayojana. You see, you want to see what the Gita Acharya says, Shri Krishna says, and what Shankara says. You want to see that? Yes. Or you want to spin your own some formula? What is it that you want to do? So, if you have so much love for pramana, then at least be genuine about it. Be genuine. That's what Shri Krishna is saying, what Shankara is saying. We have to restrict our pramana up to that. Because this pramana thing has no beginning, no end. Some agama which was written 100 years back is a big pramana for some people. And therefore the agama pathashala, some agamas, these agamas they vary, their age varies from 50 years to 500 years. The latest agama is Ayyappa agama and Shirdi Baba agama. And one more agama, Puttaparthi Baba agama, is in the process of taking shape. Shaiva agama is 500 years old. Vaishnava agamas are slightly another 100-200 years previous to that. Therefore, these are all lateral additions. So, up to what point you will take this pramana? So, you have to restrict, even when you give importance to a pramana, whichever way you give it, I will discuss that also. But in whichever way you give it, you have to restrict it to Gita Acharya and Shankara. You have to restrict it to that. And there you see what is being said. So coming back to the point, karma has phalam and prayojanam. Phalam is always self-centric or egocentric. Prayojanam, in prayojanam, the self or ego is absent, and the prayojanam, it moves towards the whole. The phalam moves towards the self, the ego. The prayojanam moves towards the whole. Therefore, when you are focused on the prayojanam, it becomes an offering to the whole, another name for Ishvara. Now the word Ishvara as is used here will be clarified later. So don't come to any hasty conclusion about Ishvara, whether it is Vishnu sitting in Vaikuntha or Shiva sitting in Kailasa. Neither. That is not the Ishvara, the theistic Ishvara is not what we are talking here. Ishvara is the prime mover. Ishvara, the prime mover or the higher power, that is which is in the form of the whole, which is pervading the whole. Therefore, the karma has phalam and prayojanam, two outcomes for every karma. And the phalam goes to me, prayojanam goes to the whole. Me is the vyashti, separated from the whole. That is the person, not the individual, person. So the egoic entity, that is the me. And the phalam goes to the me, the prayojanam goes to the whole. I'll give you a small example. There was a state government engineer in India, and he was interested in a job to construct a culvert on a small sewage canal. I won't say creek. There are no creeks left in India. All creeks are converted into sewage because of pressure of population. That is a social movement. So, therefore, elsewhere I would have said a creek, because everywhere you come across creeks and they are very clean. You can drink from them, creeks. But so a sewage thing is there. People are there is a community on that side, another community this side. They move across and they are struggling to cross it. And the government, in its wisdom, decided to construct a culvert. And they have put this job in the hands of an engineer. And the engineer is given a budget, and people are given to him, that is included in the budget, and the materials, and he constructs. Under 1 month time, culvert, let us say, this is the job. And at the end of the month, he gets his salary. That is phalam. That is his job. He does his job and phalam. And the culvert is a lokarpanam karoti. There is a word like that. When they open the culvert, they cut the ribbon and all that. There is an expression which is popular in the last 6 years. The culvert is today lokarpan karta hai, like that. It is a lokarpana. That is the word which was not there before 6 years. In the history of independent India, for the first time we are hearing the word lokarpanam in the last 5-6 years. So somebody comes and cuts the ribbon, and so the culvert is open. Now the people are happy, they move across easily, the goods move easily, the transportation takes place easily, old people, children, they go to hospital easily. It is a great service to that community on either side. Now this engineer, where must be his focus? On his salary or on the benefits that would accrue to the community? Benefits that would accrue to the community is called prayojanam. The salary which he gets is phalam. You know, he completes the job. Where must be his focus? Don't say on both. Don't say on both, because focus cannot be on both. That is a law of nature. In fact, we say you see two fingers not at the same time. Bari bari dekhte hai. You see one finger and then you see another finger. So where is your focus? No, I will have focus on both. This is a very cunning thing it is. It doesn't work like that. Normally in India, which remained a developing country because of this attitude, the focus is on the salary, not on the prayojanam. That's why all public works in India as a rule are very poor in quality. As a rule. When Narendra Modi ji visited this ashram, the whole area was spruced up, and all that horrific dump that area, that ground, how if a microbiologist comes, he can discover half a dozen new viruses and microbes. You go and see one time. Just pick up something and take it to a microbiology laboratory and grow in a agar-agar gel, and you will find a newer and newer bacteria, virus and all that, just from here. It was made as clean as possible when Sri Narendra Modi visited. The culvert which they constructed there, it has fallen, and the iron rods are protruding everywhere. This is the kind of job that is done in public works. There is a place called Public Works Department, PWD. It is the most corrupt body in the history of entire mankind. Why so? Because every engineer, these are all educated people. India is not bad because of illiterates. It is in this shape because of the educated. All these highly educated people, graduates and even bigger scholars, they are all corrupt to the core. They have only one focus in life, that is phalam. Prayojanam, if it happens, oh Bhagavan ki ichha hai. We don't mind. If some prayojanam happens, we don't mind. If people get some benefit, we don't mind. But we don't care. We care about only one thing, phalam. Now I ask you one question. Does the religion, the way we practice it, does it have any role in shaping this kind of a psyche in the society or not? You tell me.
Yes.
Yes. The way we practice our religion, some of you may know or may not know, Swami Ramatirtha visited America. He was addressing a good crowd of good people, I mean highly educated and all that. He asked a question, he challenged that. Why American society is far advanced than many other countries in the world? Do you know? They are Americans only. ABC. A. Christianity. Because it's a Christian nation. Is it because of Christianity that America has developed? A. B. Science and technology. Because of which America has developed? B. C. Karma yoga. They don't know what to. He gave a lecture on Karma yoga and put Karma yoga as C. And they asked him. We were thinking that because of science and technology we developed, and our Midwest friends believe that Christianity is the place, is the source because of all this growth. But you say Karma yoga, what is your opinion? My opinion is because of Karma yoga you have developed. But they said there is no Karma yoga with us. Because Karma yoga is in Gita and Gita is in India. Then he replied, Gita is in India, but Karma yoga is in your society. Therefore you have come on. Therefore this phala buddhi, mechaya karta. You just do this much. Take out your focus from the phala and allow the thing to happen. You know, coming back to my engineer example, when the focus is not on phala, he will be dedicated to his work. He will not take any bribes. Whereas when his focus is on phala, the ego can never be satiated. It is ever greedy, and therefore he will not be satisfied with his salary. He will certainly try to take bribes, and he will use less cement, purchases 10 cement bags, uses 7 for the construction, 3 are in his home. This is how he operates. Because once your focus is on phalam, that phala seeking is such a corruption it is, that you become very egocentric in seeking the phala. You cannot remain pure, you are corrupted. That is how it operates. On the other hand, you just dislodge the mind from the seeking of the phala. Don't seek phala at all. Phale satto nipadyate. Now, students of Gita should pay attention, and also they will know. If I point out some verses from Gita, many times Sri Krishna made this point. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, which is very well known as Karma Chatussutri, is before you. Ma karma phala hetur bhu, means you don't try to manipulate the karma phala. So mate sangostva karmani, just because I asked you not to seek the result thereof, thereby when I don't get the result, why should I work? Therefore I stop doing the work. That attitude you give up. Yogastha kuru karmane sangam chittva dhananjaya. Sangam phalasaktin tyaktva bhashyakara. And then durena hyavarang karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichya krupana phala hetavaha karmani yesham phalam hetuhu te krupana. Those people for whom phala is the inspiration to perform an action, they are wretched people. Krupanaha phala hetavaha buddhiyukto jahateha ubhe sukrita dushkrute. Then karmajam buddhiyukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha. Manishinaha karmajam phalam tyaktva. It is not even equivocal. You give up the desire for the result. It is not said in a loose way. It is not said in an ambiguous way. It was said multiple times. Sri Krishna has the habit of repeating himself. I learned a little from him. So, you see, one time I was hesitating to repeat. I was hesitant. I am repeating. Maybe people get bored and I am repetitive. Then a Mahatma told me, don't you ever hesitate. Sri Krishna is very repetitive. We are the same. Be proud about it. Okay? So, this verse I always feel good about. Karmajam buddhiyukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha. So, manishinaha buddhiyuktaha, the wise people, give up the phala born out of karma. Karmajam phalam. So, therefore, nechaya kratam. When you do without the desire for the result thereof, so it becomes automatically an offer to Ishvara. Ishvara pitam nechaya kratam. Then in cultivating this habit, in practicing this, namely you do the karma, the righteous action, never seeking the result. When you practice this, you discover the joy in karma. The beauty is, this I said, so the beauty is, karma is in the present, karma phala is in the future. Karma phala is a hope. Karma phala is hope. Karma is real in that sense, is a fact, not real, fact. Karma phala is only a hope. Hope mostly in the context which is being said, it is belief also. This karma will give that phala. It is a belief. Therefore, you connect yourself not to the fact, but to the belief, but to the hope. You connect yourself not to the present, but to the future. What a silly thing to do. Suppose the present and future two are there. Some people connected to present, some people to future. Why not? Present is real, the fact, whereas future is a myth. There is no animal called future in this creation. There is no future. And then the result is not there. It is there in your imagination. It is there in your attachment, in your desiring. It is there. It is not a fact, because it is in the future. It is in the future means, you know what? It is not there. That is the meaning of it. Therefore, you are you are working against the very laws of nature when you desire the result of the karma instead of loving the karma itself. Therefore, joy in karma you will be able to discover when you give up the desire for the karma phala. That is nechaya kratam. So, the karmanyavadhika, the present versus future. When you are working in the present with devotion and commitment, that will come when the mind is dislodged from the desire for the result. Please bear with me. I will conclude. So when the mind is dislodged from the desire for the result, because the result is not a fact. Result is in imagination only. Result is a matter of belief only. Whereas karma is a fact. And so when you dislodge the mind from the result thereof, then the mind gets focused on the present or in the present. And therefore, it is when you are working, when you are doing a karma without seeking the result thereof, you do not create time. Do not create time, because karma is the present and the future is not there, because there is no desire for the result. Therefore you do not create time. Whereas you are working in the present, but you desire the result thereof, thereby you have created time. Present and future. Present karma, future karma phala. Hope to get karma phala. Desire to get karma phala. You have created the time. And thereby timeless self becomes the time-bound ego. You have created the time, and then you get bound in that time. I have given a kind of a philosophical explanation, but the fact is, people are like that silkworm which spins a thread and builds a cocoon with that thread, and it is now trapped inside that cocoon, and it dies within that cocoon. Koshakaraha iva. We are like that. And that thread is the actions that we perform, righteous actions that we perform with a desire for the result thereof. This is called karma bandhaha. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Lokaha manushyaha. Therefore, so nechaya krutam. So don't create time, because you create time and then you get caught in the net of time. And another name for that bondage is karma bandha. So that's why it is important, nechaya kratam. Suppose you perform actions with a desire for the result, then you perform one action and hopefully the result is waiting for you, hopefully. And then the mind wants the ego wants some more thing, and therefore some more thing, some other action will be in place. So one action begets another action. And these actions are very painful and meaningless, and there will be a succession of actions, very meaningless actions, impelled by desires. It will be a succession of actions, and this is how you put the wheel in motion. So karma phala, like that you will be going round and round the wheel, and this is how people get caught. Then look at the nature. There is a difference between kriya and karma. Like in Sanskrit, English, action versus work. All nature works. The river flows, the clouds give rain, the wind blows, earth gives crops, upholds people, goes around the sun, goes around itself also. The tree grows, the plant is growing, the creeper is growing, giving birth to flowers and then fruits. All nature is working. Nature is prakruti, prakrishtam krutihi. All nature is work. All nature works. Work is nature. Nature is work. Whereas action is there only in the human mind, egoic mind. So when you work with an end in view, that work becomes action, karma. Therefore, so activity is, when it is based on desire, And then once the activity is based on desire, the activity based on fear is not far away. You build a business, you start a business, let's say a commercial venture. You start and then you worship God to make it a great success. And a Swami comes and inaugurates it. Look at this, a business enterprise. What is business? Give more, give less and take more. That is business. And that a Swami goes and inaugurates. Swami should inaugurate, give more and take less. Swami should not inaugurate, give less and take more. He should leave it to the samsara people. Okay. Therefore, the activity is based on desire, and very soon it becomes based on fear. You see, I have seen some of the people who claim themselves to be Vedantins. I told you, can't market Vedanta, it is all. Who claim to be Vedantins performing karmas to hurt the enemy. Vichara karma. Can you believe it? A sannyasi degrading to that level, degenerating to that level. And then karmas out of sheer fear. Something is going to happen to me. Shani is disturbing my life. He will bring sorrow to me. You are studying Vedanta or what? Shani will bring sorrow to me. How do you know I know? Or I don't know but somebody else knows. I know the one who knows it. The other day I had the fortune of looking at Shani. My heart filled with joy. Shani with the rings. It's a glorious sight. What a glory of Bhagavan. How fortunate I was to be able to look at Shani. I love Shani because you must have an element of Shani in you for meditating. Yeah, Shanairu Parame. You should have Shani in you. Shani. They have the mantra for Shani. In that the word Shani doesn't occur. Shanno Devi Rabhishtaya Apo Bhavantu Petaye Shanyo Rabhisravantu Naha. That is the mantra. Gayatri Chandas. Where is Shani in this? They assume Shanno is there, you know. वो just ये नहीं है, दिमाग नहीं है. Naha Sham. Naha to us is a community prayer. Sham, peace and quiet and happiness may happen. May all of us live happily. Shanno. O waters, Devi, Devyaha ityarthaha, Abhishtayaha, Apaha. O waters, you are not Jada waters, you are the Chaitanya. Devyaha. Devi is Devyaha. Shanno Devi Rabhishtaya Apo Bhavantu Petaye. Where is Shani in that? क्या हुआ? दिमाग नहीं है. This is how it is. This is all priestcraft. The word craft has two meanings. Craft is the work performed. So priestcraft is the work performed by the priest, but it is very crafty in nature. Therefore, this is all 100, 200, 300-year-old thing it is. This is responsible for the religion to go down in its glory. Therefore, so all nature works. Whereas only man acts out of desire and fear. So man acts to possess, a longing to possess. Man acts based on a longing to enjoy. Whereas work, you look at the work, when there is work, there is no desire to desire for the result. That is how the river is flowing, not for a result, not for an end in view. So work. Always work is by the whole, for the whole. Whereas action is by the ego, for the ego. That is the difference. Therefore, there must be action, but not by the ego. There must be action, but not for the ego. That is called Ishvararpitam. The Kartrutva part I have not yet taken up. I am looking at the Bhoktrutva part only. Therefore, this is how. So, work is by the whole, for the whole. Activity is by oneself, for oneself. Therefore, come out of that activity, that karma which binds you. Let the work be there. Hammer on. You should work. Hard work is the key to health, good health, physical. And without seeking working without seeking the result thereof is the key to psychological and spiritual health. Very holistic approach. Therefore, you have to pay attention to all this. In fact, you should say work is rest. You should say like that, work is rest. So the body works, and when the mind is absorbed in the work, when the mind is dislodged from the result thereof, it gets absorbed in the work to such a degree that the idea that I am working is entirely gone. That is called karma samadhi. The idea that I am working is gone. Because when there is no seeking of the result, the ego becomes very weak. Ego becomes very weak. And in the absorption of the work, that weak ego, it nicely resolves. And therefore, the small ego is absolutely lost. The petty ego. So, that kind of work, this incessant work, in which is not egocentric, in which there is no desire for the result thereof, this incessant non-stop work, it is called the highest yoga. It takes you to moksha. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthitaha yanakadayaha. It takes you to moksha. We remember Rama for that work, for that kind of work. We worship Sri Krishna for that kind of work. We have great Mahatmas like Shankara, Vivekananda, Ramatirtha, etc. We celebrate their name because of the work that they have done, which is of that kind of work. They did not perform actions. Their whole life was filled with work. You see, Swami Vivekananda breathed his last around 3 o'clock. At 11, he was taking a Tinganta Prakaranam, some Bhwadi or Juhotyadi he was teaching at 11 o'clock. 1 hour class he took, and then he felt very uneasy. He skipped his lunch and lied down, and he died. So the work was there almost till the last breath. That is how one has to die. Therefore, one has to work till that last moment. But it is work, not action. Action is by the ego, for the ego. Work is by the whole, for the whole. It becomes part of the whole. It doesn't remain separate as the ego. This is how Ishvararpitam Nechaya Kratam. And so, then once again, there is a thing called Hemavratam, Chitta Shodhakam, Mukti Sadhakam, Hemavratam. You see, take gold. To begin with, it is very impure. The gold ore, very impure. They heat it. And then it becomes purer. All the muck, etc. will go. And it becomes, you get a somewhat higher concentration of gold. Then they heat it again. Always heat treatment, one more heat treatment. And then you get 90% gold. One more heat treatment, 98%. One more heat treatment, 99.5%, like that. Like that, the more you work instead of action, work. the more of such work purifies you. Every single time you perform a work not seeking any result thereof, your mind is purer, like that. You see, a person, he is walking in the garden. This I said in the context of Bhakti Yoga. He is walking in the garden. He sees a plant, plucks all the flowers, because he is going to offer them to a graven image. Whereas in the garden, a person is walking. He saw a piece of sharp object, like a piece of metal or a nail. He saw it. He saw something, and then he saw carefully. And then immediately he pulled it out, take out, and he has put it into the waste basket. Why he did that? Why this person took away all the flowers of that plant? Very insensitive way to offer to a graven image, so that that image or the God represented by that image will fulfill his desires. Whereas this person, he removes that sharpnel from the path, from the footpath, because you know why he did that? Because later in the day, a person who is unknown to him may step on it and may get hurt. That should be avoided. That he did. Look at the mind in both cases. One appears like a religious act, the other is very silly act. But in my opinion, that the so-called silly act is the truly religious act. Whereas the other, which appears as a religious act, it is not. There is no religion in it. It is a belief-based, desire-based act, and therefore it doesn't fit into the category of true religion. That sensitiveness, that because of this sharpness or a piece of iron, somebody later in the day, some unknown guy, we don't know what is his caste, creed, race, religion, an unknown guy or even an animal may get hurt, and it should be stopped. That kind of sensitivity. He doesn't seek anything for himself, and that is work, that is not action. And that is true, that sensitivity, that is the purity, chitta shodhakam. Chitta shodhakam, you see, there is a notion current in the you see, I move in the company of Vedanta with sadhu prapanchaha, you know. Grahasthas may find it somewhat difficult. You may see some of it in Rishikesh when you come here. But the sadhus have a different kind of world. And I move very much in that world. I move in that world only mostly. So I know what is going on. So there is a kind of an opinion amounting to belief that you go on doing karmas, your mind becomes pure. This is another thing it is. Now what karmas are? What karmas that the mind becomes pure? No, you go on doing pujas, etc., your mind becomes pure. Did it? Did it become? How long you are doing and it became pure? Will it become pure? What is the nature of karma? What kind of motive you have in performing that karma? Therefore, this notion that just go on doing karma and your mind gets purified, it has become a belief system, another belief. There is no rationale in it. It doesn't become pure like that. Karma is very superficial. Yesterday I told you, karma is very superficial. Its origin is the thought. And trimming the action on the outside or in the outer has not much value. I gave you the example of standing in the queue. Just because you are standing in the queue before a temple, you don't become religious. Or the one who is standing in the cinema hall is not is religious and I am religious. No. Purity of heart won't come like that. So, Hemam Vratam, I started. So, every single time when the action is replaced by work, every single time you perform a movement called a work or action, whatever name you give to it, without seeking the result thereof, that is how Chitta becomes pure. And so you have to examine what you are doing every single time. You have to examine. And the motives are supremely important. What is the difference between karma and karma yoga? In karma, the action is important. Even more than that, the result is important. Whereas in karma yoga, the motive is important. Motive. There is no motive for doing the action. There is no motive. That is called motiveless devotion, disinterested devotion. The absence of personal motive, the absence of egoic motive, it is the purity of heart. Therefore, that Hemavratam, every time you allow the body-mind go through the karma without seeking the result thereof, every single time you emerge pure. Hemavratam. Then Chandanam Vratam. There is a thing called Chandanam Vrata. You see, our Vedantic study should not be like a person who he locks himself in a room with one window, a small window open, and then he looks at the world through that glass. What world view he gets? So if your Vedanta is like that, then that is not Vedanta. That is a condition. The Vedanta should not be like that. The Vedanta should be like open sky. Ano bhadrah kratamo yantu vishvataha. Naha bhadrah kratavaha va yantu samantat yantu. So from everywhere, let good thoughts come to us. Should be very open, utterly open to new ideas, new vision. You hedge yourself in the name of tradition and call it, give it a sacred name called tradition, and you ostracize yourself within that, saying that doesn't show your purity of heart, that doesn't show your wisdom, that only shows your insecurity. That is all it is, nothing more. Therefore, we should be willing to say, Baladapi Subhashita. That kind of openness. So, why I started it, I'll come to it. So, Swami Vratam. So, Swami Vivekananda said, do you want to work like a slave or you want to work like a master? That you decide. When you seek the result thereof, you are a slave, you are working for a slave. Slaves work for the daily wages and for the food given to them. You are like that. Whereas the master works. The master also comes and works. He doesn't work for his benefit. He works for the whole. Be master.